Fez show. The TV show on Fezzy, the cooking show that we love, Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen, Monday night on Fox. It's here for the summer, and we're going to be speaking with Gordon Ramsay, the chef of Hell's Kitchen.
What time is that on Monday?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, Monday nights, Fox, Hell's Kitchen, and here is the chef, Gordon Ramsay. Hi, Gordon. Welcome to the Ron and Fez show.
Thanks, guys. Good afternoon. How are you both?
How's everything going with you? How are you enjoying your time here in the States?
Yeah, no, I love it over here. I don't think it'll be long before I actually move over here. Interesting time through Hell's Kitchen, second season. Tough time. I suppose the pressure was on me more this time round because we had a restaurant to give away. It wasn't a cash prize. We had a phenomenal restaurant in Vegas, so the heat was on big time.
Now, were you surprised first week a guy panics and ends up going home? Are you putting that much stress on him?
Yeah. No, I think that's because he was overweight. That had more to do with the problem than actually me. I mean, listen, cooking is something that's highly sort of emotional and something that comes from the heart. You can't read the following and it will become, but it's quite interesting how many people want to big it up in terms of, talk the talk, but when it actually comes down to producing the goods on the plate, they fall to the wayside. And unfortunately, Larry was one of those, but I could spot a fake within 2 minutes of meeting one, you know that.
I've read this not too long ago, that so many of the young people coming out of culinary school would rather do a cooking show now than go into a restaurant and start working. Yeah,
that's really sad in terms of, no disrespect, but this is not the sort of EV or All Food Network. It's the real world of cooking. So Fox are very good at letting me be me and letting me keep it as a restaurant. Obviously, they're running a show, but I was running a restaurant. And I suppose, any young cook, female or male, coming out of the Culinary Institute of America or anywhere, you've got to master your craft first, because once you think that you know it all, there's so much to learn in this industry. It's like medicine or law. You've got to constantly continue to push the boundaries out.
Now, I notice, too, every time I'm in a restaurant, that so much of the staff is Spanish. Is it the same way in England, or also is that more America?
Yeah, no, I think it's more American, really. I mean, we have sort of cross-sector, multicultural staff, really.
Do you have to learn other languages when you're working in the kitchen now?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I lived in France for 3 years, so I was living through Paris and then down to the south of France, and then I went and spent some time in Spain. So, I mean, that's the most exciting thing about this particular career, in terms of, cooking around the world, learning different ethnic environments, learning a second or third language, and it builds a phenomenal character on your shoulders, and that's what young cooks have got to do today. Travel, work in some phenomenal restaurants, and pick up experience, different life-changing moments, culture, and understanding how other people eat.
Is it the same way of football, though, that sometimes it doesn't matter who the stars are, you need the team experience, though, in the kitchen?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, as well as they've got to shine as individuals, you've got to work as a team, and that's one thing we insisted, across Hell's Kitchen, in terms of team spirit, team motivation, and making sure that those customers were looked after. Because, at the end of the day, like you guys with listeners and viewers and television, we need customers in those restaurants, because without them, we're absolutely stuffed.
Do you still have your restaurants in England?
Yeah, no, we've got 12 restaurants across the world. Soon to be here in New York on the 1st of October. And, I start my open days shortly for recruitment. I've got 450 staff to look through for 25 positions in the kitchen. So, I mean, in my world, it's the real world, and that's crucial.
Where are you going to open at in New York?
We're on 57th, 6th and 7th. So, we're right, the hotel's going to be called the London.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
You're exactly on the exact corner where we're at right here. Yeah.
Okay, so come and join me for lunch.
I would love to, yeah.
I'll give you a bird's eye view of what it's like behind the scenes as well.
All right. Best of luck with it. Looks like a lot of fun this year. And best of luck with your new restaurants.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Cheers,
Chef Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen. It's Season 2 on Fox. It airs Monday nights at 9 o'clock.
All right, thanks. Earl, where exactly is he going? He says 57th and 6th and 7th. It's exactly where we are.
It's going to be where the old Shelley's was? I don't know.
No, the old Shelley's is being torn down. I heard that whole building was coming down. Do we have any open space around here at all?
I'm trying to think.
Remember where the pizzeria was, Villaggio? That's been closed for a while now.
Since the fire.
Yeah, but how big is that? I would normally think that he would have a pretty big restaurant.
But I think that was part of an extended space also, so maybe it'll blow some walls out. I don't know.
What about the big empty space that's right next to this building? where they cleared everything out altogether?
I don't think that you build a new building to have a restaurant. I think that you try to find a building that's already there. In the city, you're not going to build these buildings are like $200 million. So you're not going to build a $200 million restaurant. You're going to find a building that's already there and become a tenant. But that was the weirdest thing, hearing him basically talk about exactly where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll be downstairs or something. That'll be cool.
He's so funny that he blamed that guy passing out on weight. He fucking hates fat guys. And the guy is a chef. He's fucking serving food all day. And the first rip he'll do is fat boy on anybody who works for him.
So that's on Monday nights on Fox, Hell's Kitchen.
You didn't watch last year, huh?
No, I didn't watch. I watched the one episode of this season, but I did not watch any of it last year.
Yeah. Well, I was a big fan last year. Watched the guy go all the way in. Last year it was for $100,000, and then at the end of it he said, "Now here's your choice. You could have that $100,000, or you can come work at my restaurant." And you're like, "Well, you take the $100,000, and then you fucking get another job." The guy gave up the $100,000 to work with him. That's how well known this guy is around the world. That if you work with Gordon Ramsay for like a year or two, you can work anywhere.
Yeah, when he was talking about like over 500 people applying for 25 positions, it almost seems like a Broadway show with tryouts and people trying to get in.
Here's Greg. Greg, you're on Run It Fez.
Yeah, hey guys. I think he was starting to say that it was part of a new hotel also.
Oh, a new hotel.
Yeah, I think it's like a hotel.
I know, we stepped all over him when Fez was going, "That's where we are!"
Yeah, I don't know. We'll check the replay.
That's where we are, Chef Ramsay!
I'll wave.
All right, so yeah, I did think I heard the word hotel in there somewhere. That's very fucking cool, though. We got Bobby Flay's place. Fez, that could be your next big lunch you take us out to.
As soon as Ramsey moves in. Stephen Hawking said Thursday that Pope John Paul II tried to discourage him and other scientists when they were attending a cosmology conference at the Vatican.
What is that? Is that when you learn how to do hair and makeup?
That's cosmetology.
Oh.
This is just cosmology.
That's where we are!
He said that Pope John...
You just gave out our address! Chef Ramsay!
We're sitting on your restaurant. He said Pope John Paul II tried to discourage these scientists from trying to figure out how the universe began.
Mm-hmm. He didn't want them to find out it was giant robots that built us.
It's almost like the Pope knew something and didn't want anyone else in on this information.
Well, he didn't want anything that was going to fuck up the Catholic Church. You can understand that. The Church, since, Galileo, they don't like scientists too much. Scientists come up with facts. And that's a little scary for faith.
I think with Stephen Hawking, what he was saying, it was like the Pope was, I guess, trying to be nice about it, saying, yes, study the universe. Just don't try to figure out how it all started with God. With God's creation.
Well, you're studying everything. You got to study everything when you're a scientist. Now, this is the same speech that he gave, that he goes, we've got 100 years to find another place the way we're going now, because we're destroying this planet. The human race wants to survive. We have got to go to other planets the way we've treated our own. And I could only say this. Out of the whole, if this was a human race, Stephen Hawking would finish last. That's how fucking slow this guy is. He may be the slowest person on the entire planet. So it doesn't really matter how fucking smart you are if you can't. If out of the entire planet running 100 meters, you come in last. Dead last.
Yeah, I don't even think he can push his own go button on his chair. Now, if you were going to be a scientist, what kind of scientist would you want to be?
Theory of everything, baby. TOE. The theory of everything.
I didn't know they had those kind of scientists.
Mm-hmm. That's quantum physics.
Oh, okay.
That's
Is that what Hawking does?
It's the exact kind of stuff that the Pope doesn't want us to figure out. Are there other dimensions? What is going on? What are those little strings?
I would like to be a paleontologist. Guy that just kind of recreates what the Earth was like, what kind of animals were here as evolution took place, things that are gone, why they're gone, why some things are still around.
So what would you come up with? Are you want to be a paleontologist because that's what Ross on Friends was?
Yeah.
That's where we are! Oh, my God, Chef Ramsay!
And then I'd like to try to figure out from there where evolution is taking us next. Try to just figure out what's happened with animals so far up until this point, and what's going to, become of the Earth and all the creatures.
This is amazing. I had no idea this was your interest.
Yeah, I watch all these things on the Discovery Channel. They had, last night they had Before There Were Dinosaurs, and it was just what kind of creatures were on the Earth 400 million years ago?
Yeah.
Before even dinosaurs showed up.
You'll like this. It's a bad movie, but it's like a new old-fashioned B movie. And I think it's called Sound of Thunder. And it's about how a time machine fucks up evolution. It's a Ray Bradbury book, but it's on your in demand or whatever at home. But it's real. I mean, like 1958 looking effects. It's real old school B movie, but it's all the kind of stuff that now I find out is your first love. For his birthday, Earl, make sure I get him a dinosaur model that he could put together himself.
Nice brontosaurus.
Yeah, he loves all that stuff. Boys love dinosaurs.
I do. This boy does.
I'll take you over to the museum. We'll all walk around. We'll look at it, the big T-Rex. I got you who loves dinosaurs and Earl who doesn't believe in them.
Yeah, Earl won't be able to come to my birthday party there.
Earl, what kind of scientist would you want to be? A black one? Would you like to be the first black scientist?
There are black scientists.
Name one.
I can't.
Thank you. You stay with your theory then.
You'd be like...
Don't get scientists confused with basketball players. I know there's a lot of those.
Yes, there are a lot of people.
Because Earl goes, I want to be the first professional black basketball player. Well, that's too late.
You got to find a new barrier to break.
Why don't you be the first black paleontologist? Oh, paleontologist. But Earl, anyway, try to hang around with Fez and learn some of this stuff. He knows all about where evolution has taken us.
See, Earl wouldn't even watch this show because he doesn't believe the Earth is 400 million years old.
I'm going to start and call you Ross.
Ross Watley.
Ross from Friends. David, you're on Fez.
Oh, hey, Fez, did you ever see the show on Discovery where they were talking about the evolution of man and what would be on another planet, and they showed these stupid things with 3 or 4 eyes? It's just scientists taking liberty with everything. You know, they don't base anything in fact.
What are you talking about, David?
Well, you're talking about the dinosaurs.
You're saying that scientists just take liberty, they don't base anything in fact?
Absolutely, sir.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, I know.
You know who keeps
nuts, isn't it?
You know who keeps an eye on scientists? Other scientists.
Oh, well, yeah, that's checks and balances, ain't it, pal?
Yeah, that's what you do. Let's say if Fez came up with a theory. Let's say let's say we were all scientists. Fez comes up with a theory. Immediately, Earl and I would try to blow his spot. We'd go through all his work looking for even the slightest mistake. That's what friends do to friends in that world. They try to make sure that, and when they can't disprove him, then he moves in at that point.
That's when it finally gets presented.
Yeah. Here's Brendel. Brendel, you're on Manifest.
What's up, brothers?
There's something about the hayseeds. They hate science. They're so fucking afraid of scientists.
Ronnie.
What's that?
There's only one kind of scientist. A mad scientist.
I would love to be a mad scientist. I would love to say that I was laughed out of the institute, and now look at me. I'm going to take over the world. Fez loves dinosaurs, so don't get him Oreo cookies anymore. Get him little dinosaurs that he can play with.
So I can test my theories out on these toys.
What's the name of that movie I told you about?
It is...
Because I know you should write everything down without Allison Bell says it. I say it, and it's in one ear and out the other.
I don't know. I have to ask you again.
You know why you didn't hear me?
Why?
You were going like this. That's where we are, Chef Ramsay! Oh, my God!
I am going to be looking for Chef Ramsay outside.
You're a little overly excited with Chef Ramsay. A little overly excited. This is good stuff for you to get involved in, though, Fez. Now, when I was out in, I guess it was South Dakota a couple years ago. I'm out there, I'm driving around. They have like a dinosaur site where they let you go in and work to help them dig up the bones. So you could be an amateur paleontologist for the summer.
Oh, okay.
Here's the problem. You go into this giant mound of dirt, and it's down to the ground, like it's a big hole, and you go in there with a toothbrush, and you just keep brushing away. Slowly, slowly. I walk down there for 2 seconds. I go, you don't even want to fucking hand me that. Because within 5 minutes, I'm going to be scratching at it with my claws, trying to pull a bone out.
Yeah, you want to walk away with something. Start taking a pick to the wall.
But even when they find the bone, they're just so slow, meticulous with it. Here's Jason. Jason, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, I got a evolution question that always drives me crazy when this stuff comes up, and I thought maybe Dr. Fezzi could answer
Go
it.
ahead, Big Daddy.
How come with all the evolution that's been going on for years and the way men have been fishing the same way for years, how come fish haven't evolved to have, like, super hard mouths yet?
Fez, where are you on the theory of super hard mouths?
Well, the thing I watched last night showed how fish develop mouths to begin with. Before, it was just kind of like not even so much of a jaw. They didn't have a jaw or anything, just kind of an opening there.
So they were perfectly safe until the mouth came in.
Yeah, exactly. So when they started getting fed upon by these pre-dinosaur arthropods, these giant sea scorpions, then they started developing jaws where their mouth could open, and that's where the first teeth came from, so that they would have a defense mechanism to fight back.
So to answer your question, there hasn't been enough time that men have been using hooks for these fish to be able to pull out of it.
Exactly. They haven't developed the defense yet for that particular predator. But I'm sure they're working on it in their very tiny, slow 400 million year way.
Here's Elmer. Elmer, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys, I got the first barrier that black girl could break.
Mm-hmm.
He could be the first black man to actually claim and pay for his kids.
All right, that's enough of that. I'm not going to put up with it today, Earl. Even though you got caught lying today, I'm not going to put up with it. I'll fucking shut her down. Like Chef Ramsay, shut it. Shut it down. Shut the kitchen down. That's where we are, Chef Ramsay. 57th and 7th.
Come see us.
It was a very uncomfortable moment, wasn't it? Drew, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron, there's a correction. That's the mammoth site, man. It's for mammoths, not dinosaurs.
The fuck's the difference to me? I'm not going to sit in there a brush and try to go through it. It's just not going to happen. I'm in too much of a hurry to spend an entire summer with a cotton swab trying to figure out if something's a bone. It ain't going to go down like that.
I wouldn't mind checking out those tar pits either.
Right?
Yeah. They find everything in there. Saber-tooth tigers.
I've been out there too, Fuzzy.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like tar in a hole. Even the locals don't go there. It's just like a park, except for there's lakes, there's tar pits.
See, I don't know how they get anything out of there.
And then every once in a while, a little bubble comes up. Here is Rocket. Rocket Man, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I'm a huge fan of your show. It's very funny. I also agree with that caller who said that a lot of science is put forward as fact and never proven, like Charles Darwin or carbon dating. And a lot of people see it on the Discovery Channel, like Anthony and Fez, and they think that they know everything. And if you know about Charles Darwin, he came up with that theory before there were cars.
Rocket, here's where the real answers are.
Okay, go ahead.
The Bible.
That's what I think, too.
Thank you. I had a feeling that you and I were going to agree on that. That science can't be proven, but the Bible can. And you know why?
Go ahead.
That's the Word of God.
Well, Charles Darwin, he had an educated guess, but science doesn't prove it. And carbon dating, they try to estimate, okay, something's been dead this long, this is what it looks like, but it's not consistent.
Rocket, how old's the world?
What?
How old is the world?
Apparently, 6,000 years.
Tops.
Not
I'm
millions.
saying at the outside, 6,000 years.
Not 400 million.
No. 6,000.
Which, when they come up with the theories, just call it a theory. Don't say it's fact unless you can prove it.
The only thing that can be proven is the Bible.
Right, because the Bible is eyewitness accounts. There's
Eyewitness accounts of Noah's Ark and the giant with the slingshot. That stuff is proven fact. Fezzi, please do me a
by
favor.
Moses, but the Gospels were written by 4 different people who were killed based on their testimony. They were killed for those facts. They could have changed their mind if they were lying.
They wouldn't do it. They would not do it.
All of the disciples were persecuted, and not one of them ever said, okay, we lied.
Well,
He really didn't resurrect the dead.
Yeah. But, see, you're not going to find 4 people or even 12 people, Fez, to swear to anything in this world, unless it's 100% truth. I know you want to be a paleontologist, Fez.
Right?
The dinosaurs are fake, put there by godless communists. The Earth...
See, look at Italy was the country that killed Jesus, and they killed Christians, or they killed people through crucifixion, a lot of them.
Right.
But all of a sudden, Italy was all changed by this man of Jesus.
Right.
You know,
but let's try to teach. Where did the dinosaurs, teach Fez, where did the dinosaurs come from?
well, those creatures were with man in the beginning.
They were with man in the beginning.
Right.
They weren't 65 million years apart.
It was like the Flintstones. Like a lot of time at the end of work, early man, you'd like pull a bird and, and it would blow. And then early man would slide down the dinosaur into his car, start it with his feet, and head back to the slab house.
We know that animals that were dangerous to humans were around when Adam was around, because he named lions and elephants and hippopotamus. Those could all kill a man.
Right.
So God had it programmed within these animals that he left man alone, and then when Noah's Ark came around, then they were all killed. Everybody was killed. The earth was flooded.
Right.
So the dinosaurs only lasted till Noah.
Right.
Right.
The dinosaurs were drowned.
But there was one.
How long ago was Noah? That was like in the 30s, like 1930s, or sometime, probably even before the 30s.
I don't know the exact timeline, and perhaps I shouldn't be speculating, but I tend more easily to believe in that just off of raw science. I mean, I'm not a perfect person, but I find it harder to believe that this place has been around for millions and millions and millions of years, and that we evolved from monkeys. I find it a lot easier to believe in the eyewitness accounts of men that saw Jesus do this and do that.
Rather than listen to these scientists, these learned scientists and their machines and their computers, I'd rather pay attention to some hayseed minister that I just walked into in the Midwest. To me, Fezzi, you know why?
Why?
He's holding a book.
Oh.
You know what that book's called?
No.
Bible.
Ah.
Well, I call it a spade a spade. I mean, sorry, Earl, but if a theory's a theory, call it a theory.
Right. And what will we call the Bible? Mythology? I mean, if we're going to be that honest.
The Old Testament was written by Moses, so it's written by one person, where the New Testament was a letter from one person to another, which is their testimony of what they saw when they walked with Jesus. All
right, my brother.
Thank you, guys. I love your show.
Thanks.
Earl, you're the man.
We're on top of it. We're all making it happen. Fez, you started this. Your dream of becoming a paleontologist, like everything else in your life, gets slapped back in your face and then seen as unchristian.
Well, I guess if I still want to be a paleontologist, it's going to be a lot easier because I only have 6,000 years to look at instead of 400 million.
How old is the world, Fez?
400 million years old.
How old is the world? How old is the world?
6,000.
And what is your name?
My name's Fez Watley.
What is your name?
My name is Toby.
That's right.
My name is Toby.
Toby in the year, the world is only 6,000 years old. That's it, Toby. Now go get some bucket of water and take it up to Mammy.
Fish always had mouths. They didn't evolve.
That's right. That's right, Toby. You haul ass into that cotton field.
The dinosaur wouldn't fit on the ark. It wouldn't fit. I tried to make it fit.
It couldn't. That's right, Toby. That's right.
My name is Toby.
Toby. You know, they actually now have figured out where Noah's Ark is. and they're sending people there.
Oh,
They
yeah?
had the exact spot.
Where?
57th Street and 6th Avenue, in between 6th and 7th Avenue. That's where we are! Oh, my God! We're right there!
I think you're mocking me. There's no arc here.
Oh, my God! First of all, a lot of that science is just man copulating with other man. That's what it is. Two guys interested in each other's assholes and won't listen. Let's take a break. Can we do that, Earl? Let's take a break and get this back together. Coming up in a little bit, I guess we've got Chris Lemon on the show, Fez.
Chris Lemon's going to be here. It is Father's Day weekend, and he's got a new book, A Taste of Lemon, a tribute to my father, Jack Lemmon.
This is all about the actor Jack Lemmon. He's done a book about it. Chris Lemmon, a great guy. Do me 2 favors during
Okay.
this interview. Number 1, you don't bring up the fact that you played Ensign Pulver on stage in college.
Man, that was going to be my thing.
Number 2, don't tell the story how you were supposed to be an extra in Thunder in Paradise.
That was my other thing. Hulk Hogan was in our studio and said to me I could be in a bar scene in Thunder in Paradise when they start filming again. Little did I know it wasn't going to get picked up for a second season.
It only ran 1 season?
I think it was only 1 season.
All right, because he was in that.
Yeah.
Thunder in Paradise.
And I was promised.
So that's the 2 things the 2 uncomfortable moments I'm trying to stay out of.
Well, then, else I have is paleontology and where Chef Ramsay's putting his new restaurant. Chris Lemon, have you heard?
That's where we are! I get so nervous sometimes. Some of these people, I see the looks on their faces. So only because I have heard the thing about you playing that stupid part literally half my life now.
We did Mr. Roberts at the Pensacola Community Theater, Pensacola, Florida, and I was given rave reviews by the Pensacola News Journal. Rave reviews. Brilliant as Ensign Pulver.
Do you remember your biggest line? It was this. There's a Japanese airplane coming! Mr. Roberts. But don't bring that up. That's a role that his dad won Tonys for and Oscars for. The last thing you want to do is bring that up.
I almost brought in my clippings.
I believe they're on ronfez.net.
My yellow clippings.
Where they're running a Name the Intern contest today. All right, we'll take a break. We're right back. Ron and Fez.